Hey, this is Zach Bagans from Ghost Adventures, and you are listening to the Ghost Host Sophia Temperilli on liveparanormal.com.
Hi, this is Dana Workman from Haunted Highway on Sci-Fi, and you're listening to the Ghost Host, Sophia Temperilli on liveparanormal.com.
Well, today we are welcoming back KATRINA WEIDMAN. She and Jack Osbourne host and conduct paranormal investigations for Travel Channel's new series, Portals to Hell, premiering this coming Friday, April 26th at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. Today, KATRINA WEIDMAN returns on air to reveal exclusive series details and behind-the-scenes extras. Everyone hashtag Portals to Hell, Twitter, Instagram, at Jack Osbourne, at KATRINA WEIDMAN, follow at Travel Channel. Let's welcome KATRINA back into the show.
Hi, guys.
Hey, KATRINA, thank you for coming on today.
Yeah, thanks so much. How you guys been?
Oh, we're good. How are you?
Good. Just enjoying some time at home. I was on the road for like 9 months last year. So, yeah, so just I'm roasting vegetables right now. So I'm enjoying my time.
Well, congratulations on the upcoming series. That's awesome that, you're working with Jack Osbourne, such an iconic family.
Yeah, for sure. And, it's been nice because Jack he's a great investigator, and I don't think, I think some people are aware that he's been doing this a long time, but not a lot of people are aware that this is like a really, deep passion of his. And he and I definitely have different strengths and different areas of the paranormal that we're really passionate about. So we make a really strong team that way.
And how did you guys initially come together to work on Portals to Hell?
Well, it's funny. So Jack used to be a fan of Paranormal State, and when we first started talking, he was like, I actually used to watch that show every night when I was going to bed. So he knew of me, and I obviously knew of Jack, and I knew he was into the paranormal because he used to have a show called Haunted Highways, and we connected because he was working on this project, and we started talking, and we had the same philosophy about the paranormal, and we definitely had the same goals about what we would like to see achieved in the field. So, it made sense to pair up for this project. So, and we did 8 episodes for the new show. So 8 different locations, 8 different investigations. And what's really cool is we have a never-before-done location, which is iconic, and I know I've been trying to get in there for over 10 years, and that's the Lorraine Mansion in New Orleans, which is probably every paranormal person's dream to get in there, and it was pretty incredible.
Definitely, that's amazing. You got into such a really cool and historic location, and I know you were talking about Jack's interest, spanning a long time within the field, and yours, obviously. I know yesterday we lost such a legendary figure in the field, Lorraine Warren, and you worked close. Can you tell us any memories or sentiments that you would like to share with the audience?
Oh, yeah. Lorraine, I was very honored. I was very, very lucky. I got to work with her, during my time with PRS and Paranormal State. And, that was really when I was starting out to at least be serious in the field. Before that, it was an interest, and I would try to do my own ghost hunts, but who knows if I was doing the right thing or not. And so I really learned so much from her, especially, interviewing skills and just, how to really, families especially that are going through this stuff, it's so traumatic. And it sounds weird to people that have never had an experience that this could actually be traumatic. But it really is, because you're having this stuff happen and you have no way to explain it, and most of the people in your life don't believe you. And, it can be a really, really lonely place. And I think what I learned the most from her is really just how to connect with people that are going through this so you can help them. Because a lot of times people, when they go through this, they hold back a lot of things that are happening because they feel vulnerable. And I really learned that from her. And, Lorraine worked from a very biblical and religious standpoint, which was important. I think, even if you don't work from that standpoint, it's important to understand, how other investigators work. And I learned so much from her that way. And it's funny, I was thinking about her, obviously, And there was an episode we did for Paranormal State. We filmed it up in Maine, and I can't remember what the episode was called because, we called our cases something different, and then, by the time they got to air, they were called something different for the episode. And I think we called it Pet Cemetery in PRS. And anyway, we were up in Maine, and it was, all these weird things were happening up there. And we're all in our early 20s, right? We should be full of energy, and ready to go at all hours of the night. We were all dog tired and just wanted to go to bed, and we were done for the night. And Lorraine's like, "Oh, come on." And she she kind of scolded us. She's like, "We still have work to do." And it's 2 a.m, and she's out there trekking around, and she always wore skirts. So she's out there trekking around in a skirt in the middle of the woods in Maine in the middle of the night, trying to put this case together. And I think that's probably my best memory of her, just the show. I mean, she was so dedicated and, really just wanted to help people as much as she could. And, she's in her 80s at that point, and she outlasted us, all of us in our 20s, So,
oh, I know how that is.
Yeah.
My grandma's really, that.
Oh, nice. Yeah, my grandmother was like that too, and it's awesome to see. Thank God we have that in our blood.
So much more energy than me.
Yeah. So, she was a really lovely lady, and she was always just classy lady. And, I know there's a lot of people that, don't agree with her way of investigating or, the work that she and Ed did. But I think regardless of that, they really opened up the doors for every single investigator today. Because back when we started doing this stuff, there was nobody doing it besides the church. And I think she was a trailblazer completely.
I unfortunately never had the chance to meet her, but she's so world-renowned, her and Ed, that, to see, her name trending on Twitter and having her own Twitter moment, it's it shows her impact, not just in the field of the paranormal, but all across the world. So it's really amazing to see that even in the small paranormal community, that the outreach can be so large.
Yeah, well said.
And, I can also agree with, you learning from her the traumatic impact that, home hauntings can have. I went through my own home haunting, and it really does affect you more than I think people realize it can. I think a lot of people think, oh, it's a haunted house, this is cool, this is fun, but when you live with it, it's different. You can't exactly get rid of it. It's very hard to deal with. It's not like a person where you kind of have that more physical aspect that you can handle. This is something that if they don't want to leave, they're not going to.
So
it's just a different type of, warfare, and it's, I think, largely mental and emotional, toll on you.
Absolutely, yeah. It's very stressful because, people, you're constantly in a state of basically fight or flight, right? And that's your home. That's supposed to be your sanctuary. And at the same time, you almost feel like you're being gaslighted because these things are happening, but you might not be able to prove them.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like you're going crazy. And I've had so many clients over the years that, unfortunately became suicidal due to the things happening in their home because they were so just at their wits' end, and they had turned to so many people who told them that it's fake, it's not real. And, so yeah, that was a big part that I learned from her.
And I know with Portals to Hell, you're dealing with kind of the more dark side of the paranormal. How are you able to, deal with that emotional toll and just with travel and everything, that toll, and balance family life?
Yeah, it's tough. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's really, really tough. Luckily, I started out really early in the field, so I was still in college when I started, and I was a double major and a minor, and I had a couple clubs under my belt, and both of my majors were performance majors. So I had to be there for rehearsals or studio time, and on top of filming Paranormal State, so back then I learned right from the get-go. You have to really try to balance. And one of the things I do is I think it's really easy to get overwhelmed when you look at at the big picture of everything you have to get done.
Yeah.
So I just really, really break it down into smaller chunks, and just start scheduling. And once I do that, I realize I can actually fit it in. But it's tough when you're on the road. Like, I had a hard time this last year because we were having a lot of different things happening. Like, my dog got really, really sick, and we had to amputate his leg. And
I'm sorry.
I think he's doing well right now. Knock on wood. But it was, that was really tough because obviously, you want to put your mental energy at home, but you also need to be on the road and do that. So I know for me, this last year I think took a toll on me a little bit. Balancing both. So, I definitely felt it, energy. I'm sure I looked it. But so it's hard, I don't know if there's one easy answer for that. I think it's just sort of, you take it as you go and you try to, really get the things in your life that you enjoy. I think that if I have a tip for anybody who's, trying to balance all that, that would be my tip is that, whatever brings you joy in your personal life, like, don't give that up just because you're traveling or, you're going on all these investigations, because those are the things that keep you balanced and positive. And it puts you in that better headspace when you're sometimes out at these really dark, negative locations.
And, I know you said that you were filming for 9 months, and I'm sure you had so many great paranormal experiences during that time. Can you tell us what, without revealing too much, obviously, with the show, what was your favorite experience on the road, and what was your overall favorite episode of the season?
Ooh, it's hard to say because, I feel like, whenever you go to a location, each one kind of takes a piece of you. And you have a special, it sounds so weird, but you kind of have a special connection with each location. So obviously the Lorraine Mansion, just because, it's so iconic and I've wanted to get in there for years and it's gorgeous. The people that have renovated it did an amazing job and it's a really beautiful location. And Jack and I had a really weird experience that only he and I experienced. And we were in a room with 2 other people and it was auditory and it was so loud. And, you guys will have to check out the episode to see what it was, but it was really, it just kind of blew my mind that we both heard this. And, but the Alaskan, which is the premiere episode coming up next Friday, that place still kind of unnerves me. We were up in Juneau and it's this old hotel that was built in the early 1900s for, the workers of the town, and it was really beautiful back then. And but there was a lot of seedy operations going on, So and a lot of times when we see that kind of history, we sometimes see the paranormal in connection with it. And there was just so many weird elements, and Jack and I both felt like we weren't getting the whole story, And so we talked to the location owner, we pulled him away from everybody and we're okay, please tell us what's going on. And he revealed that there were rituals that were done at the hotel and, not all of them had good intents behind them. Some of them were very negative to draw out negative things and to conjure. And, so it's a really strange location and there's some really negative history associated with it. So we really delve into that. And I think that really left kind of I'm still trying to piece that one together. That one, months later, I'm still going over that one in my head.
Yeah, totally. I think that's the thing about a lot of these older locations. If they're kind of creepy and, a little bit off the beaten path, it does draw a lot of attention for people who want to do ritualistic style things. And so you really never know what's there because people can conjure so much that, depending on what religion they're practicing or just what they're doing in general.
Right.
And, with, the Alaskan coming up, can you tell us a little bit about, like, what it was like combining your and Jack's investigative style? I know you said earlier that you have, complementary attributes, but what was it like initially kind of figuring out how to investigate, combining the way you do?
Yeah, it's interesting because Jack and I kind of just naturally, got along that way. I don't know if there was any, like, learning curve for that, because we've both been doing it, for a long time. And so both Jack and we're really logical thinkers. So I think that's the really interesting aspect of us as a team is that, it's not like these dramatic moments really between us where, we're kind of like losing our shit and we're like, oh my God, the ghost is after us. We're very like, okay, let's figure this out. Like, let's actually get to the bottom of this. And it's definitely a different energy as far as shows go. And not that, I'm not knocking on anybody else's show. Obviously, I've been on a couple of different shows. So, but that energy comes from the team because whoever, when you work with different people, the energy of the show is much different than Paranormal State just because it's different people, and so I think that's really where, Jack and I, we really complement each other because we both have that same mindset of, like, let's get to the bottom of this and actually figure it out. And, try to be, like, really, really objective about it. And, like, kind of, we kind of both put our own beliefs to the side to do that,
Yeah, and I feel like, in certain situations, depending on the chemistry of the investigators, the spirits kind of feed off of that too, whether you're, really working well together or not. So it's always good when you're very cohesive on investigations because I think that the energy that you guys create together with just the way you guys interact and stuff, that the spirits can draw off of that and, kind of maybe show themselves more.
Yeah, it's interesting. We actually had, so one of the places we go to this season is Mackeys. And the reason we did that, kind of like the thing with the show and what we wanted to do is, there's people use the terminology portals a lot. And so, okay, well then what is a portal and why do people use it in certain places versus others? And it became this question of, there's these places that really have this negative energy and it seems to be violent. And so it's, why is it, Bobby Mackey says violent activity, but, a house down the street that maybe has 5 ghosts, it's not violent. So, and, Bobby Mackey's, they very literally say that they have a portal to hell in the basement. So, like, you have a show, Portals to Hell, you got to go to the place where they have
definitely.
Portal to Hell. So, but it's interesting because the first time I was at Bobby's, we definitely had experiences, but it wasn't anything really negative. There were a couple negative things, but nothing like I think Jack and I experienced. And what's interesting is the negativity followed us home.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, and I didn't experience that the last time I was at Bobby's. So this kind of really threw me because I totally went in there and, kind of like rookie mistake, you still make them however long you've been in the field. But I kind of went in there being like, it'll probably be like last time, have some experiences, but nothing crazy. And then we actually did have a really crazy experience. So I was kind of thrown. Like emotionally, thrown. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be definitely something to capture on camera for sure.
That would be interesting. But I think that's the thing about the paranormal too that a lot of people don't realize is, a lot of locations can be haunted and said to be haunted, and you may go there and not capture anything at all, and you think, well, this place isn't really active, but you could go there another night a week later or a year later and capture so much that you never thought you would ever see at that location. So it's really kind of like a lottery every time you walk in there because the situation's different every single time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And with Portals to Hell, is there a location that you just would love to go to in the future?
Oh gosh, so many. I've always wanted to investigate something in Hawaii. I don't have anything really specific in mind, but I would just, besides wanting to go to Hawaii, it would just be like, it would be really cool. And definitely I would love to go back to the UK. There's a lot of places, out there that have just kind of, more negative history attached to them, and they claim that there's this negative energy that comes from that history. And so I think there's a lot left to be explored in the UK. But really, I'll go anywhere. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, definitely.
I'll go.
And I know we're coming towards the end of the show, but are there any broadcasts, productions, events, appearances, shows, or upcoming interviews that you would like to mention?
Yeah, so if people keep an eye on my social media and Jack's social media, Jack and I are actually doing a lot of interviews coming up this week to help support the show. And so we'll post all of that stuff online so people can follow along. And, the show comes out this Friday, 10/9 Central on the Travel Channel. And the first episode is the Alaskan Hotel, which this is the first paranormal investigation done at that hotel. So, it was really, really interesting. And it was a really scary place. And we actually had crew members have experiences. It didn't make it into the episode, but there was one crew member. He would wake up to, like, a woman talking to him. So,
oh, wow.
Very, very strange stuff, yeah. And other than that, I know Jack has a lot of things going on. For me personally, I have a bunch of events coming up for paranormal conferences. The next one I'm going to be at is Midwest Parafest in Toledo, Ohio. That's the second weekend of May. And then the following weekend, I'll be at the New Jersey Para-Unity Expo. And both of them have really great prices. Midwest Parafest tickets start at $40. New Jersey Expo starts at $20. So both really reasonably priced events, and they're both great. So I'm really excited for those. And then there's a couple more coming out throughout the rest of the year, and those are all listed on my website, KatrinaWeidman.com.
Well, Katrina, I want to thank you so much for coming on today. It's been great talking to you as always, and congratulations again on the upcoming premiere of Portals to Hell on Travel Channel.
Thank you so much. It was so nice to talk with you again.
It was great. We'd love to have you back on in the future.
Thank you, guys.
Definitely. Katrina was such a great guest, as always, and I want to thank you all for listening today. The show definitely would not be possible without all of you, and I will talk to you guys again next week. Bye.
This is author Alexandra Holzer, and you're listening to Ghost Host Sophia Temperilli.
Hi, this is Jeff Belanger, host of 30 Odd Minutes, founder of GhostVillage.com, and author of lots of your favorite paranormal books, and you're listening to the Ghost Host Sophia on LiveParanormal.com. Boo! Hey, this is Zach Bagans from Ghost Adventures, and you are listening to the Ghost Host Sophia Temperilli on LiveParanormal.com.
Congratulations to the Ghost Host, Sophia Temperilli, for celebrating 7 years of broadcasting on LiveParanormal.com.